Hey, I'm Steve and welcome to my garage. This week on the channel, I'm going to introduce you to the truck that restarted it all for me. It's been almost a year since I last drove my truck, and honestly, it's been a couple of months since I've even looked at it. But now it's time to circle back around to the truck that got me back into turning wrenches. Quick story. When I was a young buck, I was super into working on cars. I worked at a body shop. I was messing around with building custom stuff, flipping cars, the whole 9 yards. But then, yada, 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 life changed. Girls, moving around, living in apartments, not having a garage. Long story short, my tools went into storage and I didn't work on anything for over 15 years. Fast forward to about 3 years ago, I'm driving a Chevy Trailblazer. I'm married, I got a house with a garage, the Trailblazer breaks down, and I'm like, hey, I have a garage, I'm gonna try to fix it. So I hop on YouTube, figured it out, and realized with the power of YouTube and having a garage, I could work on cars again. So then I ended up with this as my daily driver. Since then, I've done a lot to this truck. And honestly, I've gotten sidetracked by doing a lot to a few other cars too. But it's time to introduce you to this truck and get the ball rolling again. So here she is in her current state of disrepair. I literally have a barn find in my own backyard. This is Flat Beddy. Flat Beddy, Beddy White. Couple of Beddys. Anyway, this is a 1971 C30. It started its life as a service truck or a utility truck in a town called Catawassa, Missouri. Between then and me getting it, I'm not exactly sure all that happened to it, but I got it from a dude who did the bed conversion, and at some point somebody put in a GM Goodrich replacement 350, which I did a little bit of stuff to. But at the moment, she's a roller. I don't know if y'all saw that bird fly out whenever I opened that hood, but I guess it's making a home inside this engine bay. I cleaned up the engine bay a little bit and just gave it some flat black inside the wheel wells and the frame and all that stuff. But I wanted to keep the original color back here on the firewall and keep that original numbers from the factory on there as well. So I just clear coated over the back, and I'm just going to leave that yellow. Put the marker lights on it, put new mirrors on it. I painted it, which I'm not much of a painter, but at one point it looked a whole lot better than now. We got the mud flaps. It's just screaming the 90s. No reverse lights. I think that's legal. Tinted the window. Did this little toolbox cover for the gas filler upper. On the inside, these door panels were old and crusty and rusty. I just cleaned those up, spray bombed them. I replaced this. I replaced the window thing and handles. Repainted or painted the glove box door. Put the little logo on there. This is new. This is new. The seals and strips are new. Had to go with this seat cover. Had to go with fuzzy dice. It just makes sense. This is some replacement carpet that was in there whenever I got it. Did a new cigarette lighter, which is currently falling out. I just replaced this little bezel here. Put in the aftermarket Bluetooth radio, dash pad. Gotta have this kind of handle so you can put whatever you want inside there. You know, AutoZone special. Go around here the other side. The rear view mirror is new. I had to put some extra gauges in here because I only have the 3 gauge dash, so I had to put in temp, of course, tack, of course, and oil pressure. I replaced this whole front piece, and then I repainted the orange dials on there and freshened up some of the insides of that. Replaced all the knobs everywhere in the truck. Oh, put some speakers in and some kick panels, which is cool over there. But on this side, it's a little bit in the way of the parking brake, but very much in the way of the thing to turn on the floor that you kick to turn the bright lights on. It's almost impossible to get to with that speaker the way it is, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. New steering wheel, which has bird poop on it. I don't know how birds got on the inside of the truck, but there's poop. Got some poison down there in case some mouse wants to come in and start munching on my wires. Maybe it will be distracted by that first before it gets to the wires. I guess it's leaking water. That's okay though, because I got this plastic floor mat to keep that dry. So, yeah, that's new dome light. So, just an overall refresh of the interior. I don't really want to do a whole lot more to this interior. I kind of want to keep it like original-ish, but refreshed. Like I'm never going to repaint the yellow on this dash, no matter what color the truck is. Even though it's got some issues. If I restore this truck to pristine condition, I'm still gonna keep these little issues, rust spots. This spot here where somebody's arm probably wore off the paint from hanging out the window. I want to keep all that. That's the exhaust she was running. Super professional. I got the original bumper, then I got this chrome bumper. The chrome one was bent, so even though I have two bumpers, I'm probably still gonna get a different bumper. Leaf springs, because man, this thing doesn't have shocks. This is the suspension. Giant heavy leaf springs, that is all. That's all you get. And 456 gears. So we're going about 50 miles an hour max in this bad boy. But anyway, I got these leaf springs to kind of try to soften it up a little bit. And I'm also gonna put some shocks on there too. Eventually, I'd like to put a different rear end in there, but finding cabin chassis rear ends is not the easiest thing to do. Also got some new body mounts and some various other suspension parts, shock relocators, things like that in here. So that's what we got going on under the hood right now. But I'm gonna take you back into the garage so we can talk about what's gonna be happening with this truck in the future. Well, there it is. The reason the truck's been sitting so long. The old GM Good Wrench Heco en Mexico. To be fair, I don't really think there's anything wrong with this motor the way it was. But it was leaking like a sieve from the rear main seal and from a lot of places. This motor sat for a long time in a barn before the guy I got the truck from got it. So it just had a lot of crusty seals and gaskets and such. So I just pulled it out to refresh it, and that was a long, long time ago. One reason is because I wasn't sure how far I wanted to go with it once I got it all apart. I don't really know what I'm talking about. This is the deepest I have ever got into engine building, if you want to even call it that, due to the fact that I don't know what I'm talking about. Pulling the motor all by myself was a big step for me. So getting it to this phase is me like learning as I go. So that's kind of why, one of the reasons why I wanted to start this channel was just to document the process of me learning how to do this kind of stuff. So people that don't know what they're doing can learn with me. And people that do know what they're doing can probably get some good comedic entertainment out of the stuff that I get into. So with that being said, I would be super honored if you would subscribe to the channel and follow along the journey of this truck and some of the other projects I have going on. That's all the subscriber begging I want to do. Back to the motor. So anyway, if you're going to refresh the motor and pull it out, I figured, hey, might as well put a cam in there. I didn't want to get too crazy. This motor is not going to be a like performance build. It's going to be a truck. A daily driving kind of cars and coffee, pull my camper to some campsites, have fun driving around the country roads kind of truck. It's never going to race. I don't need it to be fast. I just need it to work. So for like $100 on Marketplace, I found this Edelbrock Performer Plus cam and lifters, which is, from what I gather, slightly more aggressive than a stock cam and still in that low-end torque kind of category. So I'm throwing in that new cam and lifters. I got this Holley Contender intake, Holley carb, water pumps and oil pumps and seals and gaskets and things. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with the heads. I'm not sure if these heads came on that motor or not. They are the can you see that? 487X heads, which I think is a pretty decent stock head from what I've read. Somebody said it looks like these springs have been upgraded. Somebody that came over and bought some stuff off Marketplace. I don't know. I really wish I could just throw those heads back on there and it would be okay without having to upgrade springs and do head stuff, because I don't know how to do head stuff yet. So I don't know, maybe this would be a good project to learn. Part of me wants to just be able to run those heads again. Part of me wants to learn how to do valve jobs and all that kind of stuff. And part of me just wants to buy some aluminum heads off eBay that are already done and just plop those things on there. The problem with option C there is I don't want to spend the money. There is way too many projects going on here that I could actually afford. So doing like an entire build in one entire video is not in the cards for me. On this channel, it's just gonna be more plugging away bit by bit, realistic, what I think a real dude can do in a real garage on a real budget. Some weekends I'll get a lot done, some weekends I'll get a little bit done. But that's reality, and I think it's gonna be pretty important to me to keep it real. Well, that's it for this week. Let me know in the comments if you like Flat Beddy. And if you want to see the progress on this build, I would be honored if you would subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And for those that have already, I really seriously appreciate it. We got Flat Beddy on the channel now. We have the '84 Corvette, and we have the 2010 Camaro SS that will all be in the rotation. And I'm looking at Facebook Marketplace every 15 seconds for another piece of crap to work on. And I'm glad to have you following along. And look forward to seeing you next week here in the garage. Thanks.